Hi everyone, my name is Kanika Kadam and I'm an organizational psychologist and a work coach. And I'm the founder of Happy Mind, Happy Lawyer, where our aim is to help people build happier work lives. In today's video, I'm going to be reviewing another one of Adam Grant's books, and this one is called The Originals. Yeah. So this book is a little bit older, so it came out in 2016. Um, and it's a really good book. I would give it a rating of 7.5 out of 10. So, what is this book all about? So, as the title suggests, Originals is about people who are creative, who bring original ideas, and how you can become a creative person. So, this book has some really great tips for you as an individual. And also, if you are a leader in an organization, you have your own organization, or if you're a teacher, or if you're a parent, you're a mentor, to really help people or help yourself, or the people that you work with to bring originality and creativity in their work, and to develop that culture of creativity and innovation within the organization, or within your particular school, within your particular community. And I think because we live in a world that is constantly changing, having these original ideas and having this innovation, getting people to really think about how they can use these original ideas and really bring them into action and implement them to convert and change things for the better. Um, that's really something that we should encourage in today's world. First part of the book talks about individuals and how they can generate more original ideas, and also voice those original ideas and really bring them to action. So that first aspect focuses on individuals and also how they can manage their emotions when they are trying to bring new ideas into life. The first one, as an individual, if you do want to become more creative, he mentions that you need to first challenge the status quo. So being an original means that something has to change previously that was existing, that was the status quo, and that is some sort of change that it requires. The other is that if you want to generate more original ideas and creative ideas, then you have to be able to generate a lot of them, right? So it's not that it's going to be one idea that's going to take over and that's going to be, the idea. You need to generate a lot more ideas and then look at which one really works. And in order to finalize, okay, which are the ideas that may actually work, you should rely more on getting peer feedback. So people who are in the creative fields or who are your peers, they are the ones that can give you the best feedback on your ideas as compared to your managers, right? Or even the general audience. And expand your horizons by looking at trying out new things as well, right? So expanding your frame of reference by maybe taking up different types of tasks, learning about new cultures, and also it's important to sit with your ideas for some time so that you can think about them. So it may be a good option to procrastinate a little bit when you have thought of the ideas, so that they can just germinate in your unconscious mind. So these are the steps that can help you generate more creative ideas. The second aspect of the book then looks into how can you voice these ideas and how can you really bring them to life. Some of the strategies that Adam Grant mentions in this book are, first is that balance your portfolio, right? So instead of going in with all risk, have a balance where, if you're taking risk in one area, that you're not taking that risk in another area as well, right? So keeping that balance. That you can ask people to highlight what are the weaknesses in your ideas and then ask them to think about the reasons why they should be supporting your ideas. So this leads them to really evaluate their own concerns that they have with the ideas and to find reasons to actually support your idea. And it's important to make your idea more familiar with the audience. So you have to repeat it a number of times for that idea to really be appreciated and be thought about by the people that you're trying to pitch it to. So you can maybe repeat it in a few days. You can mix it with other ideas. You can also try to relate your idea with some already existing ideas or some existing work that already exists so that people can relate to it more. And you don't have to focus only on the people who are supporting your ideas. So, people who have a good process and a good method to really evaluate the ideas, you should also be focusing on them, right? Because if you trust their process, then the people who maybe did not support your idea initially and they change to actually support your idea, they can become one of your biggest supporters. And lastly, if your idea is too extreme, then one of the analogy that Adam Grant gives is that try to bring it in a Trojan horse. So instead of trying to really put forth these very extreme ideas, you can look at what are the existing values of the people and how to really present your ideas in terms of how it fits in with those existing values rather than a complete radical overhaul. You can present your ideas in a way that doesn't look too extreme. So one important aspect that comes out and that everybody really deals with is managing of emotions, because bringing a new idea or suggesting creative change and really putting that into action, that can bring out a lot of emotions. Some of the things that Adam talks about that can help in managing these emotions is first to motivate yourself. So if you are really determined about that idea and you need motivation to really go through with this, then you should think about how much progress that you're left with. Because as opposed to when your commitment in that particular idea itself is faltering or you're a little confused or unsure about that particular thing, then what you should do is that you should focus on the progress that you've already made, and that's going to help you motivate to move forward. Another thing that happens is that you get nervous sometimes, right? You have that nervousness and anxiety. So instead of trying to calm yourself down, the energy that you get from that anxiety, you should turn it into some positive emotion that can help you with the task that you're going to do. So one of the things that you can do is that when when you feel that your heart is racing, you can tell yourself that your heart is racing because you're really excited about this task and you've been wanting to do that. This is the commitment that you made to this idea. So you turn that energy, instead of trying to calm down that energy, you turn that energy into excitement and then use it to really drive forward. And it's always helpful that there is somebody else, even just one person who supports you with the idea can really go a long way to your commitment towards it. And instead of trying to focus on the perpetrators of things, you should be focusing on the victims. So, for example, if you have any idea to help the victims of, say, workplace bullying, right? So, if you focus on the perpetrators, then you're going to get more angry towards them. So, instead, you should focus on the victims and how they may be feeling and how you can really best support them. And I think lastly, you should realize that if you don't do anything, then the status quo is still going to exist. So if you do need to bring about a change and you do want to do something about it, then the only option is for you to go ahead and take that action. So the second part of the book talks about how the leaders can encourage creativity and spark creativity within the people within the organization and can really build a culture of creativity and innovation within the organization. So you can probably have an innovation tournament within the organization. You can also ask the people within the organization to think of all the possible ways that they could really kill this company. So that's the term that has been used in the book. Um, so, so think of any of the ideas that could really put your organization out of business. And then to, look at what are the most possible threats and what can the organization do to manage those threats. Another one of the things that can be done is that you get people from all the different, functions within the organization. So your legal, sales, marketing, accounting, finance, all the teams within your organization to really pitch those ideas. And you can have opposite days. Again, it's terminology that book uses to where people in the organization can take off certain beliefs and assumptions and then question when is the opposite of this assumption being true. And lastly, you should encourage the people within the organization to give explanations for the comments that they are giving for an idea. That you do not like a particular aspect of an idea because of XYZ reason. Right? So this encourages the people within the organization to actually think about the idea and to also make sure that it's free of bias, right? So if the rejection of the idea is not based on some type of stereotype or some type of bias. In order to build a culture of creativity within the organization, so some of the things that leaders within the organizations can do is first is hire people based on the contribution that they can make to the culture of the organization, rather than looking at whether they are already fit for the existing culture within the organization. So you hire more creative people that can help the organization really relook at the culture and improve their culture. That's what you should be focusing on. And I thought this was a very interesting idea. The second one was instead of focusing on exit interviews, you should focus on entry interviews because when people are leaving, they are not as inclined to tell you about what's working within the organization or what's not. So when you do entry interviews, you really look at their expectations and what are their new ideas. They're more open to really expressing and showing you those particular ideas that can then be implemented. There's a lot of focus on getting people who are solution oriented on board. But instead of just focusing and encouraging people to bring solutions along with the problems, the leaders can really focus on getting people to bring the problems to them first and then sit together with all of the problems and see okay which are the ones that need to be sorted out and sought solutions for, and then look for those solutions together. Right? Because when there is a lot of focus on getting solutions along with the problems, people stop to bring the problem themselves. And it also happens that then the burden of actually implementing the solution also falls on the people who are bringing the problems and solutions. And that really discourages people from bringing forth these issues to the leaders. And that's harmful for the entire organization. And another thing when you are discussing those problems is that you can have a devil's advocate. So it helps that you actually have somebody who disagrees or who has a different opinion on that particular matter instead of somebody who's just pretending or assuming that they have a different opinion. And lastly, encourage criticism within the organization. So have constructive criticism. People should not be punished for their views, opinions, and they should put forth those opinions, but do it in a respectful manner and focus on the issue and the problem rather than trying to criticize the people themselves. And the last section of the book talks about how teachers and parents can really help students and children become more creative and really develop that moral character to change the status quo. So one of the things that can be done is to ask children to think about what their role models would be in a particular situation whenever they do engage in good behavior, to link that to their moral character. That this is the kind of person that they are, this is the moral values that they have, and to encourage those moral values. So instead of focusing on an action, focus on the kind of character that that person has. Instead of saying that, oh, you're a good child, or because you shared something with your sibling, you say that you're a good boy or you're a good girl because you're a sharer. To encourage the children to really think about what are the consequences of their actions. So you can ask them, how would the other person have felt because of your action and what you did to them or what you said to them. So that helps them build more empathy towards other people. You can focus on emphasizing on values instead of getting them to follow specific rules. Because as we said in the beginning, creativity involves originality, involves changing some sort of status quo and challenging that particular rule that exists. So in order to do that, it will encourage people to focus on their values and whether a particular action or a particular rule is actually following that value or not, rather than just blindly following this rule. So there's a lot of useful material for you to really implement within your life. So don't let this go to waste. Please do read this book. I do recommend it. Hopefully, both you and I can implement whatever the book mentions and be more creative and feel more additional ideas. And personally, I think that I do want to use these ideas to help bring a change, which I am trying to do with Happy Mind, Happy Learner, and questioning some of the assumptions and beliefs that we have about how our work life and our careers should look like, and really build happier work life essentially. So, thank you for watching, and please do like, share, and subscribe to this video and our channel. So,